Oh shoot. Hey everyone, Pastor Chris Ireland here. Welcome to the Poolside Chat. You know, I was thinking this week, I think it's maybe 45, 50 years ago, there was a class called Values Clarification. It was part of social studies that was taught to elementary school students back in Virginia. And what it did is it took very difficult ethical challenges, some really big ethical challenges, and asked elementary school kids to think about and resolve these. You're in a boat and you got three people in a boat. If you leave all three people there, most likely 9% chance you'll all die, or you can get rid of one person and the other two 100% chance you'll live. What do you do? Ethicists struggle with this, and with that limited amount of information, why would you give this to a preteen? It was awful. But what it did is you actually got to take on the role of God. Recently, there has been something called My Truth. So I think some of this came about from what's called cultural intelligence. You have IQ, intelligence quotient. You have emotional intelligence, which right now is has come back around again, is very, I was going to say trendy, but it's become very much talked about. Cultural intelligence came about to look at different people's values and sense of right and wrong through a cultural lens. I am not a fan of cultural intelligence. My whole postgraduate study is in cross-cultural ministry, anthropology. I think it kind of minimizes what that is. I like the concept. But anyway, I digressed. Cultural intelligence, cultural intelligence has led to this, what I believe is concept of my truth, his truth, her truth. How can you say there's truth? You know, whatever tribe in Namibia does not have the same values and backgrounds and beliefs and norms that someone born in North America and the United States has. And it kind of twists what cultural intelligence is, but it's led into this my truth, his truth, her truth type of stuff. And what it does is it minimizes absolute truth, an absolute sense of right and wrong. And I would dare say that some of the issues we see today are because there is no absolute truth. There is no absolute yardstick. There's no absolute measure. And many people, promoted by society through values clarification and through cultural intelligence, which is led into his truth, her truth, my truth, has diluted absolute truth. And someone asked, do you think we'll get back to having biblical, moral sense of right and wrong? We'll have a yardstick again. Will there be absolutes? The Ten Commandments in the Hebrew Bible, Christian Bible, it doesn't matter which one you use, the Ten Commandments, I wish I could remember who to attribute this to. But the question was posed when God wrote the Ten Commandments, and I was going to focus on the Ten Commandments. Little trivia fact, you know how many commandments there were in the Torah, the Old Testament, first 5 books of the Bible? 613 Jewish laws, commands. But the Ten Commandments everyone knows. And the question that was posed to me, whoever this was, I wish I could remember so I could credit them, asked, did God write the 10 Commandments and therefore things were wrong? Or were things wrong and God just wrote them down? So, for example, murder. Did it become wrong to murder because God wrote the commandment, thou shalt not murder? Or did God write, thou shalt not murder, because murder was wrong? Was stealing wrong when God wrote it? Or was stealing already wrong and God just put it down on, etched stone? And what these commandments do is they give you an absolute truth, God's truth. See, I would dare say that these were wrong already for a couple different reasons. One, we are people, mankind, humans, created in the image of God. We have His image. He breathed life into us and gave us His image. And it's wrong in God's world, which means we know in our heart it's wrong. The commandments just solidified it. And I think this moral yardstick, this guidepost, is because we don't follow the first 3 commandments. See, the first 3 commandments are all about God. Honor the Lord thy God. Keep His commandments. Because when we don't remember God as God, there's a saying, nature abhors a vacuum. Values clarification, my truth, His truth, her truth. When we forget God, we, individual, fill that void. And that's how I really, really believe we've gotten into some of the things that just seem right in man's own eyes, but are so wrong. Because we have the image of God in us. We are created in His image. We know right and wrong. But when we forget God, then we replace God and we become God. And then we decide what is right and what is wrong. So, do I think that we'll get back to that moral standard? I think it is up to us, Christians and the church, to tell people, show people, yell to people who God is, and we better not try to become God. It's more than lip service. It's just what we've forgotten. So, chew this over, think about it. Did things become wrong because God gave us the commandments, or were things already wrong and God just wrote them down? It was a great question, which I still think of to this day. And I think we will get back to this moral standard, but I think it is up to us, the Christian church, to tell people what that standard is and bring them to that knowledge of God again. So, with all that said, that's what I got. I hope you guys have a great week. Beautiful day here. I'm going to spend some of it outside, most of it inside working again. I keep putting off my inside work because I'm on the night days. Remember, let your friends know. Every Wednesday, we're answering your questions. Keep them coming. On Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and now on Rumble at FL Compass Church. And Saturday, we're going through the book of Hebrews. And some interesting things for today, even though it was written, 2,000 years ago. So, anyway, I hope you join us then. Otherwise, have a great week, and we'll see you Saturday.